Welcome back guys for another tutorial on HTML, CSS and JavaScript. For this lesson we're going to look at how to create this cool slider with animation. This is going to be a two-part episode. So we'll be learning how to create this UI in the first episode. On the second part we're going to be learning how to use JavaScript to add classes to elements so that we can animate this slider. So let's jump right into it. Okay, head over to glitch.com and create a new project. Already created a new project over here. So, and also I went into the asset folder and uploaded some product images that I'm going to be using for the project later. So make sure the product images doesn't have any background on it. You can just remove the background. So, and also I went to Google Fonts and included some custom Google Fonts for this project. So all you have to do is look for Monster or the font family that you like. I've added this particular regular style. Then I added Poppins. As my font. And we need a thicker font for this. So I'm going to choose Bold 700. And just head over to the embed section. Copy this link. Go back to your HTML file and paste it right under the last meta tag. All right. So just clear out whatever elements that you got in the body tag. So we're going to be starting from scratch. It's fairly important to come up with a basic layout before you start coding. So what I've done here is actually I came up with a simple drawing how it's gonna look like in the end. Then after that, I've started to identify what are the items that needs to be placed in left hand side, right hand side, so that I can break it into different containers. So what you can see here is like the slides will be sitting in the main slide wrapper. So this is slide 1. Layout basically have like two containers for each slide, flex item left and flex item right. So flex item left on this example is having the red color container, red color background, and flex item right is having some pale color compared to the red. So and we place all the text inside flex content, which sits inside a flex item left, and we got a text background which is hovering on both containers. So if we are going to break it down into like separate containers and in HTML point of view, so what you're gonna have is you're gonna have like a master container which is going to be called slider wrapper. Then all your slides is going to sit inside the main container. Then for each slide you're going to have flex item left, flex item right. Then you're going to place flex content inside flex item left and all the text items over there. And the product image is going to sit floating similar to text background between the two containers, right? So let's look at the code and let's start coding. Okay, let's start with a div container which is going to hold all our slides. This is going to be called slide wrapper, and inside it we're going to create the first slide, slide 1. Okay, and this is going to have additional classes, flex container, because we need to have it stretched. So inside this first slide you're gonna have like two containers, flex item left and flex item, that's item right. Okay, so you're gonna have two sections like how you have seen in the demo. So let's add another container inside this for flex content, which is gonna go inside. And inside this, we're gonna add the text of the product. So first product is gonna be our headphone. So let's just call it text subtitle. So I'm just gonna name this to CRM2 headphone. Okay. And below that, we're gonna have like a big name, and we're gonna call it B. So let's just give this H1 a class of text big. Okay. So this is the first section on the left, and let's go to the right item, and after the div of the right item, we're going to place the image using, it's going to be floating in between the two sections. So we're going to add the image over here. All right. So I'm just going to go to the assets folder, copy the link, go to html.index, just paste, right? And I'm going to give this a class of product image. Okay. So we roughly have the items that we want to see on the thing. So let's go and style it so that we can actually see it properly. Okay. So we need to go to these. So let's begin with the flex container. All right. So this is going to be all the containers on the left and the right. So it needs to stretch properly. So we're going to give it a position absolute. It's going to be placed on top, then left 0. Display is going to be flex. Okay, and let's style our first slide. Okay, so that we can see what's going on. So I'm going to style this left inside the slide 1, flex item left inside the slide 1, and flex item right inside slide 1 as well. So it's going to be slide 1 and dot flex item left, and I'm going to give this a color. Slide 1 left item right. I'm going to give this a light yellow color. So let's have a look in a full view. All right. So you got this section and got this section over here, and we need to align them properly. So let's continue with our flex flow. Set it to row wrap. Justify the content. Set it to flex start. Set the height to full size of the height. Let's do 100%. C index equals to 1 because we want it always on top, and overflow hidden. So since our headphone is too big, so we're gonna style that next so that we can see it clearly. So it's gonna be product image, set position to absolute, top to roughly 35%, and right to 20%. I already know these values because I've played around before this. So try to use some numbers first to see where you want to place the item, then you can figure out what is the exact value it's going to be, right? So opacity 1 and max height, I'm going to set it to 40% of the width, right? Let's see. All right, so we need to change the product image so that it's okay. So you got like something similar to what we have seen in the demo. So let's continue with the styling. So we're gonna set styling for the flex item so that it follows properly. So let's set the flex item height to the full height of the vertical. So we have already seen this in the previous lesson. Color, I'm just gonna set it to white. This is the text color inside the flex item, right? So all the color have changed to white now, right? And let's work on the left item left. So this is gonna be a display flex as well. We're gonna align the items to the center, so it always floats in the right in the middle of the screen. Right, then we're gonna set the width to 65%. Right, so you have something similar to what we have seen in the demo. So it's like 65% of the width, then rest is flex item right, and you'll be having that image sitting in right between. Okay, so let's set position relative, overflow hidden. Okay, then now we need to work on flex item right. It's about the same thing, but in this case, the width is going to be 35% because 65% the flex item left already taken up the 65% of the screen. So we want the rest of it to take uh, the width of the screen, right? So that's about it. So we're already seeing something similar that we want, right? Next, what we're gonna do over here is we're gonna set the style for this content over here. Right? So flex content, I'm going to set the margin left to 80 pixels so that it doesn't, move so close to the left hand side. Right? Then I'm going to set the width to 55%, opacity to 1, because later we'll be adding the animations for this. So let me just add that up first, right? So let's have a look. Okay, we already got this, we already got that, and we need the big text in the background. Let's see if we already added. Oh, we haven't added yet. So this is gonna go right under, right above flex item, right? So we're gonna call this text background, okay? And it's gonna be headphone. All right, so right now the text is sitting over here. See if it's updated. Okay, and we want it to be like semi-transparent sitting in the middle, right? So text background, set the font family to Poppins and fall back to sans serif if it doesn't see the font. Set the position to absolute because we already set the position relative over here. Oh, scratch that. I mean, it's not going to be affecting the position. So it's going to be right 15%, margin right 15 pixels, font size is going to be 7.5 EMs because we want it to be big, and yeah, something like that. Okay, right? So 100 pixels. Color, we're just gonna give it a transparent, semi-transparent black. So it's gonna be 0.5. Then the font weight to 700%. Margin 0 auto in the middle. Okay, so let's place something over there, all right? Let me just choose this. Oh, it's 0.05. Oh yeah, so I had an extra 0 over there, so don't mind that. So now, okay, we already styled that, so we're gonna style this big text big. This particular H1, so font family, set it to Poppins. Font size to 5 EM. Font weight to 700. Line height to 100 pixels. Margin left. So, okay. Right. So something like this. Okay. And the next one would be text sub. Font size to 12. letter spacing to 0.5 em, text transform to uppercase because I want it nicely looking, and margin bottom to 25 pixels. Okay, right, that looks decent. Right, let's say if you want to move this image to the top, right? So all you have to do is you need to go back to your product image and try to change this values top and right so that you see this like it moves up. So that's how you get the exact figure, right? So you try to play around what you where the image is gonna be at. So I wanted something to be on the bottom over here, right? So we're pretty much done with first slide. But the thing is, because of the animation, right? So the slides will be sitting on the same place. So what we're gonna do is, so let's go and add the second slide so that we can see what's happening. All right. So try to format this file so it looks much nicer. So our first slide is sitting over here. What you can actually do is just copy the whole thing until the end of slide. So I'm gonna just recode so that we can actually see what's happening. So slide 2, call it flex container. It needs to be an exact thing except slide 2, right? So this div class flex item left. Okay, class flex content. And in here is going to be the p class. What we called it here, text sub, right? Text sub. It's going to be our perfume. Oh, we forgot to add one, which is the description. So there's going to be a p tag right under the h1, and we're going to call this text normal or text description, whatever you want it. So what I'm going to do is just write something random for the headphone. So collection to another level. Okay, and let's just add the style for this. Font size, I'm going to set it to 13 pixels. Color to RGBA 255, 255, 255, 80%. Line height, set it to 22. And margin crop to 25. Add a body style so we can actually use the default font over there. The position is going to be relative. Font size is 100%. This is normal. Font family it's going to be Montserrat. Serif. Font weight to be 400, which is normal. Height is going to be 100%. and margin 0. Okay, so our default style will default font, it will be Montserrat, and the rest of it is going to be other stuff. All right. Okay. So let's go back to slide 2 and add the description over here. Okay, right below the first paragraph, we're gonna add a H1 called text big. So this is gonna be our product model number 5. Okay. This is gonna be our normal text, which is the description. Perfume by Chanel. Okay, right. So right after item, a flex item left, so we're gonna be adding the background text. And we're gonna call it perfume. Okay. And the next one is gonna be flex item right. Flex item right. This is just gonna be an empty container just for the styling. An image called product image. Let's see. Okay, let's just close that. Go and get our image link. Paste it inside SRC. Okay, and just format. Okay, right now, as you can see, you know, the both slides are on top of each other. This is actually what we intend it's going to be, because, you know, it's like the slides are going to be sitting on top of each other. We're going to use JavaScript to actually hide a particular side and show a particular slide. So what we're going to do is, let's just add slide 2, flex item left, background color of blue. Let me just get the color. This is going to be right. So this is going to be a lighter blue. So if we go back and see now, it's going to be like different. Okay, where's lighter blue? Let's see what's happening there. Oh, we missed slide 2. All right. So now you see slide 2 on top of slide 1. All right. So it's slide 1 is actually at behind of slide 2. So let's just continue with one more. So this time I'm just gonna copy this container. So take from the slide 1 container, copy until the end. Okay, because this is one element, right? So paste. I'm gonna rename this to 3. Change this name to shoe. Casual shoe. Most comfortable shoe ever. Right? So I'm going to change the image, copy this link, and replace this. Okay. So as you can see, slide 3 is overlapping slide 2 because we haven't added the colors for the slide 3 backgrounds. So let's just go and do that. Just copy this, paste, put number 3, then I'm going to change the color to something similar to the shoe. So it's going to be okay. All right. Let's just change this perfume in slide 3. Okay, this is gonna be casual. Okay. Okay. So all we need right now to complete this front end UI is actually the slider buttons. So I feel it's better to put it on the slide, on the right hand side. So I'm just gonna create some list items. So what I'm gonna do is, okay, just format this just right before the body tag. Create a div item, call it slider navigation. Okay, or slider nav if you want it shorter. No, slider navi, because we got a item over here. This is going to be the links. It's not going to go anywhere, but it's just going to use it to pinpoint which slide we're gonna load, and we can call it slide 1, right? Just for our reference, because this is not going to show on the front part. So this is going to be 2, 3. Okay, let's start with slider navi. Position is going to be absolute because it's going to be placed absolute on an absolute position over here, regardless of where is it actually sitting, because right now it's sitting over there because of the absolute. So we're gonna place it somewhere here. So what we're gonna do is say top 50%. This is gonna make it come to the middle. Then width, no, sorry, right, it's gonna be 20 pixels. Okay, and we're gonna use transform, and we want it to be always on top. Okay. So let's just, because I'm not going to show it slide 1, slide 2, slide 3. So it's going to be just circle. So it's going to be height 20 pixels, width 20 pixels, margin 20 pixels, then border radius to 50%. This is how you create a circle. Border none, and background, it's gonna be RGBA 0, 0, 0, 20%. Okay, so let's just remove the inside text. So we just see the dots on the side. Okay, like that. Okay. So another thing is when it's active, let's say this the first light is active, I want to make it a different color. So the background is going to be slightly lighter. So if you add the active class to the first item, it's going to be in a lighter color, right? Let's just add some transparency. Okay, right. There we go. We are pretty much done with the UI design. So in the next part, we will be learning how to create the animation, then the JavaScript element, so that we can actually make this work. All right. Catch you in the next episode.